Well, I'm in downtown Philly, and this sign says it all. Used to be a big Pennsylvania Railroad train station here to the left. Occupied a lot of real estate, had a train shed and everything. That was taken down in the early 1950s. This magnificent structure on the corner of 12th and Market Street in downtown Philly is the old Reading Terminal. It was built in the 1890s. Used to house the Reading Railroad Company. The trains used to go out of here until November of '84. When they opened the Center City Tunnel, it was closed. Now it's a Pennsylvania Convention Center. Downstairs beneath this building is Market East. Well, now it's called Jefferson Station. In this building are a few establishments. The Hard Rock Cafe, which I have frequented. I've known some people who've worked here over the years. Had some great meals. And the Reading Terminal Market is within this building. If you want to go to a market, this is the one to go to. It's got anything and everything you could think of for gastronomic desire. Yeah, right now I'm at the City Hall station in the center of the city, literally, on the Broad Street subway, which runs from Fern Rock Transportation Center up north to Patterson, where the stadiums are. And these Broad Street subway cars, built by Kawasaki, are equipped with Westinghouse air brake company AA2 horns. Gonna get a couple of those. Here comes a northbound Broad Street subway train. Let's see if he blows his horn when he clears the platform. They have to do it when they go around a blind curve. And there's curves on both ends of this station. These are Kawasaki-built cars, which replaced the old red Brill cars that were around since the 1930s. They lasted almost 50 years before these cars were replaced by these new cars. You heard it, the Westinghouse AA2 horn. And we got a southbound coming into the station. As you look at the sharp curves south of the platform, they all have to blow for those sharp curves. Here he goes. You gotta love those old horns. Those horns are just like the ones that they had on the Pennsy and Reading Bud Silverliners, the St. Louis Car Company Silverliners, and the Jersey Arrows on New Jersey Transit. I tell you, years ago, these Kawasaki cars, they replaced the Brill cars in the early 80s. And those Brill cars, dark red cars with loud traction motors, when they came out of those dark tunnels, they were like big black monsters. Oh. At one time, this PSFS building was the tallest building in the city, above City Hall. City Hall, for the longest time, was the tallest building. And now there's skyscrapers sprouting all over town, like the Comcast building, to name one. A couple of banks. With City Hall standing proudly in the background with the statue of William Penn standing tall on the top of it. See this historic sign about Ricketts Circus. It is a market for the old Reading Terminal I spoke past Reading Terminal Market. Huge place. There's a lot here. Just pretty much just walking around, showing you the vastness of this place.
I got you, Ray. Raymond.
Get lost in here. Well, we've now moved to one of the hot spots in the Philadelphia area, the North Philadelphia SEPTA station. It's on the Northeast Corridor, but you get a lot of action here. You get SEPTA trains to and from Trenton, SEPTA trains to and from Chestnut Hill West, New Jersey Transit trains to and from Atlantic City, and your Amtrak trains to and from Washington, New York, and Boston, plus CSX and Norfolk Southern freight trains to and from Camden, New Jersey. Many years ago, North Philadelphia used to be a very important stop for the Pennsylvania Railroad. The trains between New York and Chicago and St. Louis made their only stop here. So they headed straight west at Zoo Interlocking towards those points and bypassed downtown Philadelphia. So this station had a very important role to play for those western destination passengers. That's the old depot building in North Philadelphia. Now it's just pretty much a SEPTA stop. And at 1:59 p.m. approaching is a Philadelphia and Washington bound Amtrak train, an ACS 64 leading. Street Station, Philadelphia in about 7 or 8 minutes. And that was train 171 from Boston to Washington. And at the west end of the station is the old North Philadelphia Tower, all boarded up. It was painted in a nice City of Brotherly Love paint scheme, but the tower's long since closed. When the tower was open, it was a very busy place. Got a New York bound Amtrak at 2:05. I'm motioning for them to blow their horns. That was train 176 from Washington to Boston. 2:10, here comes a train coming from Chestnut Hill. He's just coming off the branch here. The old Pennsylvania Railroad Chestnut Hill branch. Electrified since 1918. There's a separate North Philadelphia station for the Chestnut Hill branch. Train of 4G Silverliner 4 is built in the 70s mostly. This next stop will be the upper level of 30th Street Station, Philadelphia. He's on the main now. The Chestnut Hill branch over there, the Pennsylvania section, that hasn't seen service for the better part of a year. It only recently restored service, but on a limited basis. Meanwhile, the Reading Company line to Chestnut Hill has had no interruptions in service. And at 225, here comes a SEPTA Silverliner 5 en route from Trenton to Philadelphia. Some of them go on to Chestnut Hill East, and the ones that go to Chestnut Hill East will eventually pass downstairs from here at the west end of the platform on the old Reading tracks. Cars are not running in abundance these days. I'd say there's about maybe 4 or 5 or 6 train sets running. The majority of the GE Silverliner 4s, which are like 40 years old. And the reason why they're running those instead of these cars is because they have a larger seating capacity and they're more socially distant to the engineer. They have a full-width cab where these do not. They've cordoned off the front seats to the railfan window, much to my chagrin. I personally love the Silverliner 5s. I love the paint scheme on them. I love the rapid acceleration those things are capable of. I love the railfan window, and I love those K3 LA horns that they have. 255, we have a Trenton-bound SEPTA train. With these GE Silverliner 4 clunkers. Next stop will be Bridesburg, passing catenary pole 85.0237. I believe that measures the milepost from New York City, Penn Station. Those Silverliner 4s, to me, personally, are thoroughly uninspiring. Their horns aren't very inspiring either. PH-2B shoving by a little after 3. And this station I'm standing on is the North Philadelphia Chestnut Hill branch station. We're looking north towards Chestnut Hill. And these are the signals guarding the switch off the Chestnut Hill branch. Talking about things uninspiring, this neighborhood is not very inspiring either. I don't think I'd want to be here at night. This area, as you can see, is loaded with abandoned eyesores. To take a wrecking ball to half of this neighborhood. This sign brings back Pennsylvania Railroad memories. But there are some memories here I'd like to forget. And off to the south down Broad Street, which runs underneath the east end of the station platform here, is downtown Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia. I've been coming here for a half a century or more, you know, but it does have its neighborhoods you have to stay out of, and it's definitely got some great neighborhoods. At 317, approaching is Amtrak number 93, en route from Boston to Newport News, Virginia. I'll get a diesel at Washington, D.C. Not quite so friendly. I'm in luck. 3:20, we got an Atlantic City to Philadelphia train coming with a Jeep on the point. They seem to use those exclusively on the Atlantic City trains. It's got a short train, only 2 cars. $42.19. Comet 4 and a Comet 5. Here comes a New York bound long distance train. 3:30. Well, that's train 85, the Silver Star, en route from Tampa and Miami to New York.